She walked into the cafe smiling. She walked out a suspect in Indonesia's most sensational murder case. A cup of coffee, a violent convulsion, and within minutes, a young woman is dead. But what really happened that day? Was it a random tragedy, a health condition, or a cold-blooded, carefully planned murder? This is the story of secrets, jealousy, and an unsettling smile that never left her face. This is the case of Jessica Wongso, Indonesia's coffee killer. Who is Jessica? Jessica Kumala Wongso was born into an upper-class family in Jakarta, Indonesia. Her father was the owner of a large bicycle parts company. Her upbringing was privileged. She had every opportunity: private international schools, trips abroad, and eventually a degree in design from the prestigious Billy Blue College of Design in Sydney, Australia. But those who knew her described her as reserved, shy, even a little distant. She wasn't antisocial, just selective. She didn't trust easily, but when she did, she became deeply attached. That's how her friendship with Mirna Salihin began. Who was the victim? Mirna Salihin. Mirna was Jessica's complete opposite. Warm, charismatic, bubbly. She had this magnetic energy that drew people to her. While studying in Sydney, she was the center of the Indonesian student circle. Mirna was the kind of friend who made everyone feel like the most important person in the room. She had a twin sister, came from a powerful family in Jakarta, and was poised to inherit a branch of her father's plastic export business. Mirna was engaged to Arif, the love of her life. She had recently returned to Indonesia to plan their future. Marriage, career, kids, life was moving fast. And Jessica was being left behind. Mirna, trying to be supportive, brought up Jessica's toxic relationship with her then-boyfriend, Patrick. Jessica had opened up in the past, telling Mirna that the relationship was abusive, that Patrick controlled her, that he made her feel worthless. She even admitted to staring at razor blades on the bathroom counter during some of her darkest moments. She confessed that sometimes she wasn't strong enough to resist. Mirna listened, sympathized, and said something that Jessica couldn't forget. "You should leave him. You deserve better." To most friends, that would be comforting. To Jessica, it felt like judgment, like pity. Jessica stood up and walked out. No goodbye, no excuse. She never responded to Mirna's texts again, but she watched, on Facebook, from a distance. Watched as Mirna moved home, got married, started her career, posted pictures with REF, pictures full of joy. Jessica waited for a wedding invitation. It never came. 3 days later, she lost her job. A few weeks after that, Patrick broke up with her. The breakup was so toxic, the police got involved. She was alone. She attempted suicide twice. She was hospitalized both times. And in December 2015, she messaged Mirna, "Hey, I'm going to be back in Jakarta. Want to grab coffee?" The day of the murder, January 6, 2016, Jessica arrives at the Olivier Cafe inside Jakarta's elite Grand Indonesia Mall. It's 3:30 p.m. The coffee date is scheduled for 5. Jessica is 90 minutes early. Instead of waiting, she orders 3 drinks, 2 cocktails, 1 Vietnamese iced coffee, specifically for Mirna. She tells the staff she'll be back, pays in advance, and leaves. When she returns, she picks a booth partially hidden by plants. It's the only angle in the entire cafe where CCTV doesn't have a direct view of the table. She places 3 large Bath & Body Works bags on the table. Inside, just 3 small bottles of soap, but she uses the oversized bags to slowly block the coffee from the view of the one working security camera. She adjusts the bags, inch by inch, until the Vietnamese iced coffee is completely hidden. She pulls something from her purse, moves her arms behind the bags, and then waits. At 5:15 p.m., Mirna and Hani arrive. They slide into the booth. Mirna sits in the middle. Jessica smiles. She gestures to the drinks. Mirna takes a sip of the coffee, then another. "Ugh, this tastes awful," she says. She passes the drink to Hani, who smells it, sips it, wrinkles her nose. It's bitter, strange. Seconds later, Mirna leans back. Her eyes roll back. Foam pours from her mouth. She starts convulsing violently. her limbs jerking uncontrollably, her body slamming into the booth. Hanny jumps to her feet, knocking over her drink in panic. Her voice is frantic, screaming out for help. Please, someone help her. Call an ambulance. She tries to hold Mirna down, cradling her head to prevent it from hitting the table edge, tears starting to stream down her face as she pleads with onlookers to do something. The cafe falls into chaos. Customers rise from their tables, waiters rush toward the booth, and in the middle of it all, Jessica Wongso. She doesn't move. She sits frozen, expressionless. Her eyes scan the room, but her body is still. Her hands rest lightly in her lap, her fingers slowly scratching her own palms in small repetitive motions. It was a peculiar gesture. To some, it looked like nervousness, but others speculated there may have been something more to it. Cyanide, when handled in raw or powder form, can cause irritation or burning sensations on contact with the skin, especially the palms, which are more sensitive. Was Jessica experiencing a physical reaction from handling the poison? Or was it a subconscious response, a stress reflex in the midst of chaos? No cyanide residue was found on her hands, but the scratching became one of the most discussed aspects of her behavior, particularly because she remained so eerily calm otherwise. When the cafe manager Devi arrives and takes in the horrifying scene, her instincts kick in. She rushes to Mirna, shouting for staff to call emergency services, and then Jessica speaks. In a quiet, measured voice, she turns to Devi and asks, "What did you put in the coffee?" That chilling moment was later featured in the Netflix documentary Ice Cold Murder, Coffee, and Jessica Wongso, which captivated global audiences. The film highlights Jessica's disturbing composure and showcases the haunting footage of that exact moment inside the Olivier Cafe. A moment many viewers would describe as the most unsettling part of the entire case. When the manager arrives, she sees the scene, panicked, but Jessica calmly looks her in the eye and says, "What did you put in the coffee?" Aftermath at the cafe. The staff preserves the coffee. It has a strange yellowish hue, turmeric-colored, definitely not right. Debbie, the manager, sniffs it, takes a microscopic sip. Her mouth tingles, burns. She labels the jar and tells the staff to keep it safe. It will become the most crucial piece of evidence. Mirna is rushed to the hospital. By the time AREF arrives, she's gone. The autopsy. The initial autopsy showed nothing unusual. Bile, liver, and urine samples showed no signs of toxins. But a second, more invasive test of her stomach contents revealed the truth. Cyanide. Over 300 milligrams. Double the amount needed to kill a full-grown adult male. The lining of her stomach was corroded. Her mouth and tongue were blackened. It was murder. The investigation begins. The police begin questioning everyone involved. Family, friends, witnesses. Then they turn to CCTV footage from the cafe. Jessica's strange behavior stands out. Early arrival, cameras blocked, emotionless reactions. The Indonesian authorities dig deeper. They contact the Australian police, asking for records. And that's when the truth really starts to unravel. Jessica had a history in Australia. In August 2015, just months before the murder, she crashed her car into a nursing home while drunk. The crash destroyed a brick wall. Thankfully, no one was hurt. She was charged with DUI. Her court appearance was scheduled for February 2016. But Jessica left Australia before the hearing. She fled. Police also discovered something darker. Jessica had repeatedly harassed her ex-boyfriend, Patrick. After they broke up, she sent him dozens of threatening texts. She told him she would kill herself if he ignored her. Police had to perform multiple wellness checks. In one, she was found unconscious near sleeping pills, antidepressants, and a knife. Patrick filed a restraining order. Jessica even texted Mirna's twin, Sandy, after the murder, sharing a news article about dangerous coffee. It seemed like a strange attempt to divert suspicion. Her former boss in Australia, Christy Carter, told police about her behavior in the workplace. Jessica once said to her, "If I wanted to kill someone, I know how. I know the exact right dose." After being fired, Jessica texted Christy, "You have to die, so does your mom." The theories. The first theory, insurance fraud. Mirna had a $5.7 million life insurance policy. Suspicion fell on her father, but no one ever touched the policy. The money remained unclaimed. Another theory, sabotage, that a competitor had poisoned the coffee to destroy the cafe's reputation. Unlikely. 10 other Vietnamese iced coffees were served that day. No one else got sick. The strangest theory, a love triangle. Screenshots allegedly showed Jessica sending Mirna texts like, "I love you and I want to kiss you." Some said Jessica was obsessed, that she loved Mirna and killed her when she couldn't have her. But were those texts even real or fabricated to stir controversy? Ultimately, only one theory held in court: jealousy. Jessica killed Mirna because she had everything Jessica had lost. Mirna represented the life Jessica had once imagined for herself: a stable job, a loving partner, emotional support from close friends, and a clear path forward. Jessica's own life, by contrast, had unraveled. Her relationship with Patrick ended bitterly. She was fired from her job. She had no support system. She battled depression and had multiple suicide attempts. Meanwhile, Mirna seemed to glow with happiness and success. She had recently married, returned home to a loving family, and was stepping confidently into her future. To someone already mentally fragile and emotionally unstable, that contrast may have been unbearable. Mirna's joy, perhaps unintentionally, served as a painful reminder of Jessica's failures and isolation. The prosecutors argued that this envy metastasized into rage, that Jessica didn't just lose Mirna as a friend, she saw her as a symbol of everything she could no longer have. And in that mindset, taking Mirna's life became, in Jessica's twisted logic, the only way to reclaim control. The trial. Jessica was arrested 23 days after the murder. She agreed to reenact the entire crime for police. During the reenactment, she smiled, posed, laughed. At trial, her parents hired top lawyers. They argued there was no definitive proof Jessica poisoned the drink. No fingerprints. No poison found on her. No footage of the act. But the circumstantial evidence was overwhelming. The early arrival, the bag placement, her stoic behavior, her comments, her history. Psychologists labeled her a narcissist, specifically an amorous narcissist, someone who showers affection to manipulate others into loving them back. The trial lasted 135 days. The verdict, 377 pages long, guilty, premeditated murder. But instead of death, she received 20 years in prison. Parole as of 2024, Jessica Wongso is a free woman. She was released on parole after serving just 7 years, still smiling. The system that failed many Indonesians were outraged. 20 years for premeditated murder? Parole after 7? There was never full closure, no confession, no remorse. Was justice served? Mirna's husband, Arief, still speaks about her in the present tense. "She is the most wonderful person I've met." He says he's grateful she knew true love. Do you believe Jessica Wongso was guilty? Or was this a massive failure of justice? We want to hear your thoughts. And if you found this video compelling, please consider giving it a like, sharing it with others who follow true crime stories, and subscribing to the channel for more deep dive investigations like this. Your support helps us bring more real stories to light. Thank you for watching.